Ugh, these nails and this mic. Happy here? Okay, good. Okay, Jack's going to be late, so I think we're good. Okay. I'd like to call to order the special meeting of the Morristown Township Board of Education is called to order. This meeting is called in conformance with the Open Public Meetings Act with adequate notice provided as follows. Notice filed with the Courier Post on August 2nd, 2021. Notice filed with the Burlington County Times on August 2nd, 2021. Can I please have a moment of silence? Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please, James.
Dr. Alberti. Mr. Fairchild. Mrs. Mullen. Welcome. Dr. Snyder. Mr. Villanueva. Mr. Weeks. Mr. Weinstein.
Present.
Ms. Romano. Mrs. Shaw.
Here.
Thank you.
Thanks, James. Good evening. Our small crowd, but and hopefully there's some listening at home. I hope everyone had a wonderful summer and a positive first week of school, actually a week and a half, kind of. We thank our students, parents, administration, teachers, and staff for a smooth and safe opening week and pretty, very well run, lots of positive comments. So that's wonderful. Many thanks to Kathy Mullen for her willingness to step into this role once again. We're very happy to have you back. Thank you so much. I know you have gone through the appropriate paperwork and was sworn in by James last week. So that's great. Tonight's meeting is specifically to discuss the superintendent search, and the majority of the meeting will be in executive session. I want to take a minute to thank the whole school community for their willingness to participate in this process and determine the desired characteristics for our next superintendent. This has really helped guide HYA in screening candidates and will help the board in our interviewing process. So it was a lot of work done in a short amount of time, but we thank Stacy and Bill Adams, who are here today, and Monica Brown, also part of their team, for their extensive work on doing this. And they were able to bring us a strong pool of candidates, which we're excited to hear about. And I'm going to turn it over to Bill and Stacy for an update. Up to Bill.
Well, thank you. It has been a process, and certainly the stakeholder input very critical to the process in developing those desired characteristics, because everything that we did from that point on after the engagement phase was based on the desired characteristics. What we'd like to do right at this point is just give you an overview of the field of candidates to give you so that you have the scope of the number of candidates and where they're from and so forth. There were 54 applicants in the system. However, only 41 actually pressed the button and submitted. So even if an application is complete, if they don't press the button, we cannot consider them a candidate, and they were not considered if they didn't. So of the 41 that submitted, 23 are current superintendents, 9 are assistant superintendents, 4 are directors or education or executive directors, 3 are principals, and 1 is an adjunct professor. So you can see the bulk of the 41 that submitted, either superintendents or assistant superintendents by background. This is interesting. States represented. Well, New Jersey, 21 candidates. New York, 7. Pennsylvania, 6. Maryland, 2. Michigan, 1. Nevada, 1. Florida, 1. And Virginia, 1. And I might just mention both the Michigan and the Nevada person have New Jersey experience. So they were in New Jersey at one time. Of the group, and I only had this on 40 of the candidates, 32 have a doctoral degree and 8 do not have doctoral degrees but have master's degrees. Of the total and self-identified, we have 25 males and 16 females. That's pretty much the overview of the full field. About a fourth of these of the group that actually submitted, we've done a more in-depth work on, and we feel that group of about 10 most closely resemble the desired characteristics that you approved and that we received from the stakeholders that participated. And that'll be the next step to look at those people. There are 5 documents surrounding those, or for each of those. Those documents include a self-introduction in the third person. How would you want Bill or Stacy or Monica to introduce you? It includes their letter of interest, which should follow the desired characteristics. That's what the candidates were advised. The resume, their application, and then what references said about them. And from that, we hope that you'll be able to determine who you'd like to interview and begin that process this Saturday. And that's just the overview of the demographics. Any questions? Or?
Any questions from the board? If not, we'll be talking later. Thank you so much, Bill. Right now we are ready to go into public comment. So can I please have a motion to open the floor for public comment? Thank you.
Second, Lauren.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Not much of a noise. Everyone knows the drill, so you could come to the mic, please. State your name and address. You have 3 minutes to speak.
Hi, I'm Jill Fallows Macaluso. I live at 800 Golf View. and I have a couple of comments. First, my family was super excited to return to in-person learning this year. It felt awesome. I'm a parent of 3 girls, UES, WAMS, and the high school, all starting in new schools. But I do want to share with you that one phrase was shared in my house in the days leading up to back to school, probably more than many, and that phrase was dress coded. My girls shopped and reshopped in mainstream stores, searching for a good outfit that they would not get dress coded for. This is upsetting to me on many levels, and I want to raise awareness to the BOE and administration. There is quite a bit of buzz in the parent community over the dress code, and I believe it needs to be immediately revisited. First, there are far too many important things to be focusing on or stressing about during these uncertain times than being dress coded for. We need to get our priorities in order and spend time on what matters. These kids truly have enough to worry about. Second, whether intended to or not, as drafted, the application of the dress code is adversely impacting and treating girls in a discriminatory manner. I specifically call your attention to the language in the dress code. Students dressing in a manner that is a distraction to the education of others will be asked to correct their inappropriateness of such dress. And it goes on to say that midriff tops and tank tops that show shoulders are inappropriate. And last but not least, the application of the dress code is confusing to our children, especially our daughters, and is making them feel bad about themselves and stressed about how they dress. And it's really actually kind of placing a burden on them to worry about whether or not they're wearing clothing that is distracting. For example, by showing their shoulders, which is deemed to be provocative. I've heard a lot of examples throughout the town that illustrate the application of the dress code, and I'd like to share a few of them with you. An 8th grader on picture day was forced to wear a t-shirt over her dress because the strap was not thick enough. She was embarrassed in front of the class and given a t-shirt to wear. She felt terrible about herself. The dance team is not able to wear their uniform top to school, just like football players, pep band, and cheerleaders, and some of the dance squad girls were dress coded in what they assumed was part of their uniform that they had performed in at football games on 2 previous occasions. The WAMS uniforms for field hockey cannot be racerback tank tops like many other schools, and the new shirts that the Moorestown Rec program just put all of these same girls in for their weekend field hockey games. A homeroom teacher would make all female students stand up and check the length of their shorts in front of the class, kind of making a public spectacle out of it. A student dress coded by her senior year because she was wearing a long sleeve shirt with cold shoulders. A high school Spanish teacher in the middle of a final exam claimed that a full-length white tank top and stated, "Absolutely, you cannot wear that. It's way too revealing," in front of the entire class. My own daughter was dress coded in 4th grade at UES for wearing shorts from American Eagle that were considered too short. I'd like to say that this is also inconsistent with how teachers are treated. There were pictures of teachers wearing, I'll finish quick, a spaghetti strap dress snapped on the first day and posted on the internet. So we have to be consistent. We recognize there's a line for inappropriate and appropriate dress, but the dress code itself is inappropriate and the application is discriminating and shaming our young girls. We ask you to please address it immediately. The answer is to revisit and reflect on this antiquated document and adopt a more modern dress code that promotes appropriate dress and encourages healthy and respectful school environment. One suggestion that might be appropriate would be to actually reach out to the student reps and invite feedback. And that way we can have our students be able to communicate and advocate without fear of kind of sticking just themselves out. So I really encourage you to look at it. Thank you.
Thank you. I do believe our policy committee did look at it yesterday, and it will probably be discussed at our next regular meeting, reported on at the next meeting.
And I think that's not really, those are school level dress codes, not.
They
not
are
this.
school-related dress codes. From what I gather, our board policy is very broad, and each school has their own. But I do believe it was discussed.
And this has been something that's been ongoing.
This
for
has been
probably since I've been on the board, so 12 years, it was
Ever
ongoing before then. This is
Yeah.
a fight that's been going for 12 to 15 years, so welcome to the fight.
Hi, good evening. Sarah Rivera. I wasn't really aware that I was violating dress code. I have boys and my daughter is only in 2nd grade, so I feel like I have a little bit of time before I have to really worry about this. I wanted to say that I had the pleasure of knocking on the administration's door maybe 2 weeks ago at this point, and asked for an impromptu meeting with Dr. Fitz, which he gladly accepted. And I just want to say that I haven't spoke to anybody who has had anything negative to say about Dr. Fitz. I think he has been absolutely phenomenal over the course of the last couple of weeks. What has it been, 2 months maybe? And I'm speaking for just myself, but I would encourage you to keep him around as long as humanly possible here in the district. So whatever the maximum amount of time he can be here is what I think a lot of people would welcome, because he's been a breath of fresh air. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? No? Okay, I'd like to request a motion to close public comment.
Motion to close, David.
Thank you.
Second, Lauren.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We're now going to be moving into executive session. Be it resolved by the Board of Education of Morristown Township that it is necessary to meet in executive session to discuss certain items involving superintendent search discussion. Can I please have a motion?
Second, David.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.